Hi, this is Val with Folk Our Wings, and today I'm going to display a little bit of what I do with library index cards. I was gifted a massive amount of them. They all have the Dewey Decimal System on there, the title of a book, the author, and a little synopsis of what the book is about. And they're all from a Christian based library. If you don't like the information that's on an index card, you can always cover that up. They're all blank on the back side. So they're wonderful to work with. Some of them have this little red line on the top. Most of them are to indicate that it's an audio book. And I think that's really why they put that on there. I hadn't gone through all of them. I've packaged them up in 50, the amounts of 50, and they are for sale in my Etsy shop, and it goes by the same name as my YouTube channel, Folk Art Wings. And so anyways, I've had fun with them over the years, and I thought I would kind of demo what I do with them. Most of them, you don't need a sewing machine. If you have one, that's all the more fun, but you don't need one. You don't have to have one to do any of the projects that I do. Just a good glue. Usually I use glue stick. I might use a white glue if I'm covering the whole thing. I'll show you some of the examples, then I'll put them away, and we'll have a little bit of an experiment with some of them here. You can stamp on them. How easy is that? I like to use coffee for everything if possible. Instead of buying an ink. I find that they run dry on me before I can really get a lot of value out of them. And that's just because I'm not a big inker. If you look at my journals, I don't have a lot of inking on the edges. I do it. I like the look, but I don't do it to everything. So stamping is really fun, and it's easy. And how cool is that if you've got stamps available? Always splattering is a lot of fun, and these are done with coffee. And I've got it on the written side. This one, the stamping was on the blank side. So you can use both sides. A lot of times when I splatter with coffee, if I've got a drip, I'll use a straw to splatter it. And I just remembered I didn't bring straw to the table, so I'll show you an alternative way. But there's stamping on this, there's splattering, and then there's the droplets, and then I blow the droplets away to spread them out on the card. And these are just the droplets. Again, let's see, I've got another one here with the splattering. No droplets, just the splattering, which is fun. Just enough, I think. And you can add a little focus point there. The easy thing to do is I've got a scallop punch. So if you've got punches, these are fun to work with. They punch really easily. And so you could do all kinds of things. You could just do the edge and make a pocket out of it. When I do a dye bath, I throw cards in with my dye baths, eco baths. And so they take really well, you can see. And I just throw them all over the lawn and let them dry. And of course, it has to be a non-windy day. So outside of the dyeing now, some of the examples I've got here are all I do is take scraps and just layer them in different directions. And you can just glue them down. These are offcuts. I had done some ruffling and embroidery, and so I laid that down when I had a zipper connected with the ruffle and an overlay of a strip of fabric just on top. And in fact, I had two pieces put together. And so I laid these down on my scanner, scanned them. So these are the reproductions of those fabric pieces in the real zipper. Hopefully you can see that. I just did one seam down it and left the writing, the typing exposed, because it's all done by hand on an old-fashioned typewriter. And same thing with this. I just did 2 cross rows, but I glued all that down first. Just patches. Onto trying to do something with, this is eco-dyed baker's paper. This is a little scrap from a children's book. This is just printer paper. This is an offcut of a tag on a bought item. This is dyed photo printer paper. And so I just laid them down and then ran 1 stitch straight through all of them. And so I just loved the different textures, colors, and they're all in the same colors, but different values and hues. I just love that. I took just scraps. Of course, you get so much when you're making journals. You have so many offcuts. And so I just cut out a focal point and then glued everything down, some graph paper, some mistakes on a printer paper. And then I sewed all the way around with red thread. But all of these are just glued down. I mean, you don't need to sew around. It's really cute adding the red. And you could do, if you got a package of index cards without any line at the top, you can put a magic marker line at the top with any color you wanted. So, and then sew around it if you feel like sewing around it. On this one, I just did offcuts again and tried to keep them related in color and all. And you can see the stitching is not great. I don't care about that. I'm not a perfectionist. If you are, then, you know, there's guides on a sewing machine if you want to do that. But you don't have to sew. You can just overlay strips of paper that you've got offcuts from. I love these. I always save these from the edges of torn out notebook papers. And you could add that. Just glue it down with glue stick. And that works. Let's see, what else here? Let me move my index cards. I'm putting them where all my materials are, and I don't want to do that for when I want to grab them. Okay, these, this one, I just love doing, and this one too. They're the same thing. All I do is take strips of offcuts, and if they're, I have some that might be really thin, and if I run out, as I just use a glue stick, coat the card. I've already cut it in a tag shape first, and I like the print on the to still be exposed, so a person that gets this tag in their journal will know it's from a library index card. Okay, and I cut it in a tag shape. And you can see this is not equal on either side. I just haphazardly cut. And then I use my glue stick, glue strips down over and over and over and over beside each other. Sometimes they might overlap. Most of the time they don't. And then if I run out, I take some old scraps, like something like this, and just cut the edge off. And start gluing that piece down, and I'll add that strip on. I mean, just one little color. And see, these are all from dyed fabrics. They're offcut from scrapbook pages, book pages, just, you know, little strips glued down. And then I sewed all around it and up and down twice. I've got some that I've never sewn on, and they're still holding very well, and they are all with a glue stick. And I did the same thing here, cut it in the shape of a tag, left the typing on one side, and started gluing, and I glued them in the opposite direction because I had some long strips, and I actually included magazine here, book page, offcuts of dyed paper, a print out of an embroidered piece that I scanned, book pages. and just glued them down, and it makes a wonderful tag. And I sewed on this one too, but that's not necessary, like I said, to have something look really great without sewing. On this one, I started out doing the same thing. I'll start with this one. Library index card. And for some reason, I covered up most of the print, but I left some exposed. This one got covered up almost completely. You can barely see the card number there. What possessed me to cover it up, I don't know, because I like it showing. But this is all book page. This is all book page and a little hand-dyed scrap. When I'm doing EO dyes or hand-dyed vegetable dyes and so on, sometimes my paper starts to fall apart, and so I save all the pieces. And so I've got a little torn piece of that, tore off a little book page, and underneath is an old piece of scrapbook paper. And I just glued everything down, and it's all holding very well. There's no sewing, and I love it, and it just has a great feel to it with all the different layers and the ego dyed and the different book pages. And with this one, I did strips just haphazardly, 2 strips of book page that are torn. And then on top, this is a piece of ego dyed paper. And then underneath, I have a flower cut out from, it's kind of like a torn inch size out of a seed catalog, and then a fussy cut butterfly. And I just stapled those 3 layers to the index card. And it's cut like a tag. And these 3, I left 2 as the index cards, exact same size. With this one, I cut 2 angled cuts off of it. And I hope I'm in screen the whole time. And with this, I covered it with a piece of writing school antique writing paper, very, very old. And I did sew all the way around it. It's not necessary, like I said. And when I went to a yard sale once, I got all these little circle and oval and square punch outs that a woman was selling. And so I bought the whole box because I don't, at the time, had no punches like that. I had bought myself a couple that do the edging, and I had some scissors that do that fancy cut on the edging. But I didn't have any punches to do shapes and so on. So I thought that was a gold mine. I loved it, and the colors were different colors. You can see this one's a green, like cheesecloth over another color paper. And then this one is just striped, but it's an oval shape. And I have tons of seed catalogs to choose from because my husband's an avid gardener and absolutely loves gardening, and so he gives me the old ones, and when the new ones come in, I get to look through those and pick what I want out of those too, because he basically tends to stick with what are tried and true vegetables now. But in the beginning, he did a lot experimenting, and every once in a while he still does. And we have neighbors all around us that have gardens, and they all exchange with each other when the plants start to come up, the seedlings. And so they share with one another. They share seeds. It's a great neighborhood. We just adore our neighbors. But back to our index cards. So I took a little bit of seam binding and just took the strip and folded it in half, and then laid a piece, an image from a seed catalog. And the bad thing is it's out of the thinnest magazine paper kind of effect. And so they really struggle to lay down flat. I've never had success with magazines. And so with this, I left it with the texture. It just adds a little something to it. This is smooth. You've got a fiber here. You've got the raised edge of the circle. You've got the bubbly mess of magazine paper image. And they're all images from seed catalog. Just love the flowers are just absolutely gorgeous. And if I'm going with a theme, I might actually cut out all images like I've shown before on some of my pockets from the seed catalogs, and it goes with the theme of my book. But with these, I did nothing but flowers and framed them, and then what I did was sew around, and you can see it's a terrible job on the circle, but I like that because it still looks good to me. I like that the layering and the feel of it, and it still slides in when you put it in a pocket. You just attach, you can poke a hole through here and tie a loop on it, or leave your tag without anything on the top. That's good with me too. My tags with this one I covered with book page, and it's a Courier knives image, sewed all around it, retained the index card sizing, and then put one of those circles to frame a flower that came from the suit catalog. And with this, it's all offcuts that I do kind of like, just kind of like award ribbons cut out, and I use different book pages, and this is an ad from an almanac, and this is, it seems like I got this out of packaging, but how cute is that, just to add that tagging. And then here with the oval, I put a piece underneath it, but the whole tag has been covered in atlas page, and this is, let's see, New Zealand and the Tasman Sea, and I've got an oval circle that covers up, that frames the image from the seed catalog, and you can see all the different texturing I think might be captured in there, but it's the card, the mapping, a strip of cardstock. This is on top of that, and framing another layer that's from the seed catalog. And so that's just some things that you can do. And these are just starting points for you guys doing what you want. And I'd love to see a post of anything that, say you do with index cards. I know there are challenges out there. I don't know how to even get involved in challenges. I don't know how to communicate with other fellow people that are in the junk journal world or crafting world that use coffee and index cards and all this. I have no idea how to communicate except for when I post a video asking for people to, drop a comment, ask a question, or maybe can you actually, share a picture, which I hope they can do. So this is stuff I need to research and find out because I really feel like I'm all by myself out here. But yeah, I know there's so many fun people out there. I started watching Shabby Dabby Doodah, and the gal from Treasure Books, and I've been watching a couple of new people that, and I stopped watching for years and just started making, and then I just started watching a couple of people, and my memory is so lame these days that I can't remember who I'm watching right now, but I'll get back with that and put it in the description, I hope, because there's a couple of people that I really love watching, and they experiment so much, and it's so much fun. So anyways, we'll start with some demos on what I like to play with, and then you guys go and experiment, and then come back and make a comment, or say, hey, look, Val, because I'd love to see what you do. Okay, had to get a sip there. I'll start with the first one, and open up my coffee that gets, oh, it gets so dried out, and then it gets flaky and messy and all that kind of good stuff. But let's do something simple. I do espresso in water and keep it in a jar. And then when I'm ready to use it, it's got a lot of impact. And so I might have to water it down in another jar to thin it out some. But I like to do the droplets. Sometimes I get the cooperation, sometimes I don't. There we go. It needs to be a little thinner probably, a little more watery. But I want to show you what I also do with the droplets. Sorry about the arm there. Oh, I need my straw. Okay, that's not working. And what I'll do now is just what you can do with feather. I'm just going to lay down some on this one. Oh, I wish I had my straw with me so I could show you that. I'm sure you've seen it before, but I like the straw, the feather, because you can do lightly and cover a lot. If you want, you can cover just a little bit if that's all you want. If you want it really heavy, that you have the option of covering the whole thing. But it leaves so many different strokes all over it. Gosh, you'd think I'd be, oh, I need my vitamins, I think. But you can see you can do a heavy stroke work with the feather. And I just love that it just gives you so much texture. I guess that's the word I'm trying to look at. Look how different these are, and it dries very, very quickly. So you have impact and you're ready to work on something. The wetter it gets, you can see the more it wants to go deep into the fibers of the card. And so it actually will arc up a little, but they flatten out real quickly. You can do this with acrylic paints if you want. Same effect. Water down your acrylic paints, put them on maybe a folded piece of wax paper, put out a little bit of droplets of your acrylic paint, water it down, and you can do the exact same thing that I've just done here. So I'll put these aside while they're drying. And get a couple of other things here. I like to, you can stencil with coffee. Let's see if I have anything. I forgot my stencil. Oh my goodness. Figured out on the ball here. I have something that we can use though. Okay. I'm gonna lay this down to protect a little bit there. Hold this down. And with a stencil brush, they're flat on the bottom, I'll dip it in my ink and let the paper towel absorb. Have I got this on screen? Yep, okay. Let it absorb till it's almost dry. And I do this with acrylic paint the same way when I stencil. And with that flat edge, go round and round gently on your stencil. And you can use anything for a stencil. There you go. How quick is that? And this is, even though I was using wet coffee, I got enough off my brush. You watch it seep into the paper towel, move it to another location, it'll seep out, move it to another, and then you can still re-ink with that wet spot. You don't need to be constantly wetting your brush. And the same thing goes with, like I said, acrylics. And so you can do same thing down here if I want to do the same look. Let's see, put that here, put my card down like I had that one, a little crooked there though, and put the stencil down again, okay, and hold it. Oh, you know what, I found it in reverse, that's the problem. Okay, I'm gonna put it on this side. I'm gonna turn it because I don't mind getting the edge of this stenciled either. Okay, put this down, hold it still, and gently go in swirls, very carefully, holding your stencil. And then if I want, I can just go ahead and do the edge, the whole edge, to meet up. It's like inking, just like anything else. And so now I've got a whole different look to that card. What would I do with this? I could put a paper ruffle down the middle, a scrap, sew it down. You could do strips. You don't have to do anything. I could use a piece of ribbon, scrap of fabric, have a focal point in the middle, or sew it all the way across. Washi tape is always great to add to any. And washi tape is so affordable, and usually we collect it and it loses its stickiness, and all of a sudden, you know, why didn't we use it? It's being wasted. Then you have to start gluing it every time you want to use it. But look at that. I think that is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. That's a little coffee and some washi tape and an old library index card. Okay, crazy, isn't it? How easy you can do something. Let's take back that coffee, the one middle ground. It's not as it's not as heavy. It was the middle one. We had the heavy dyed, the lightly dyed, and the middle. So I'm laying the middle one down here, and we're going to experiment on that. Let's see if we can get a little darker this time and get most of the drips out. Put it on the paper towel, let it absorb. And then I think what I'll do is put the dots at the top. Okay, that was wetter. I didn't let the most of the water drain out. So I was hoping to get better. You can see it worked. I was hoping to get more intense color. All right. Not much of an impression on there. So, I mean, it works to a certain degree on just doing your stenciling. That's an experiment there for me. And so it's not what I'm looking for. Is this a waste? No, I love experimenting. I can tear that and use it for when you do swatches, but why do that? I think that I can make something attractive out of this. And I think that would be cute with a little tab on it. I think it needs a little something more. Let's see what I've got to choose from out of my scraps here. I got anything with red on it, or just a piece of book page. Yeah, I like that idea. Well, oh, here's a funny character. So I think I'm going to tear. Nothing ever goes to waste, okay? Not when you're, I think that's cute. Brittle paper. So I'm going to get my glue stick out. Oh, this one's dragging really badly. Look how it shrunk up. I bought it like that. It's disappointing when you get home and it's dried out like that. But it's still got, it still works, you know. And this is one of the image from the seed catalog, and I attached it to a piece of paper with glue stick. And and then I used picking shears around the edge to cut it, and it well tacked. I mean, you would not know that it was only held together with glue stick. Now, I feel like it's lacking something still, so let's see what else we can put on it. I want something. That's too much. It takes away. Oh, here's something cute. Yeah, I like that. Little millinery flower. I think I'll attach it right there to the middle of that flower. Let's get a dab of my liquid glue out. Come on. Here we go. There we go. Finally. I'm going to put it right there on dead center of that one. Now, I think that's cute. I could keep going with this. That kind of adds a little, I don't know, a little something. Do I want anything else there? I kind of like that added. Maybe. No, that's not working for me. Here's a longer piece. Would that work? No, I don't need that. I don't like that. This is too much of the same colors. Let's see. I have some blue scrap here. A little piece of green tissue paper. I love tissue paper. And I do use that. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. That gives me a place. If I want to put, if I want to write something on it, and if my glue stick worked better. But yeah, I like that. See how it diffuses the print. I always use scraps of tissue paper. If anyone gives me a gift, it's never going to go to waste. I could put this on here too. That's kind of cute. Do I need it? I kind of like that. Let's see, is there anything else small? No. Ow. Too much of the same shape. I think I'll go with a piece of this, maybe. Now, too much of the stamp shape. And, oh, I'm sorry, I'm wasting your time here. Okay, let's just cut a piece off. And fray it a little bit. Put a little, and down we go. Okay, I think that's a lovely card. What have I got? I mean, I'm a saver, so of course I had a millinery flower and a little swatch of fabric. I pick these things up at yard sales. I've always been a sewer, always made my own clothes, quilting, sewed for other people, worked in a tailor shop. You know, I have access, I had access to all that kind of materials and all that you need for sewing. And so I never threw them out. People complain in the family that I don't throw things out, but when they need something, they come to me. Mom always has it, or, you know, my friend always has it. Val always has it. But anyways, back to our index cards. With this one, I would leave this one the way it is. I would put a little loop on it. And I could put it in a side pocket in a journal. And then the little loop would be sticking out to indicate that, you know, you've got something to pull out. Look at all that writing space. You can write all over where the stencil is. I mean, I think that's a really gorgeous tag. I love it. It's one of my favorite tags. The one we just did, you can write all over the back. You can write all over, on top of the fabric, all over here. Put a little picture of that from your travels if you're using it in your travel book. These can stay just like they are, or you can decorate them. And I just think you can do something as simple as a sticker. This one says smile. Came in the mail. I think that's gorgeous. It's really pretty. I mean, there's not much you have to do to these things. If you want to, you could put a paper ruffle on it. Just staple it. How cute would that be? Just staple it on there. I do cut a lot of images out and put them in a kind of a, you know, with those children's scissors that have different shapes around them. And so I love black pen and ink illustrations, and I have a lot of gardening books. Why not just go ahead and do that? You can put that on there. Where's that giant butterfly? I'll see if it's still too big. Here it is. Oh, good grief. I think that's pretty. Does it need it? No, but you could put just the butterfly. Now that is great. That looks great, just like it is. So back to our cards. Let's say you've done all the inking and so on that you want to do. I could go around the edge of this and make it look like it's been inked. Okay, another thing that I like to do is sponging. See if I can get enough just from that puddle. No. Very lightly. The effect is. Can you see that? Of course, the wetter you get it, the more you're going to have, you know, a more of an impact. And this is a natural sea sponge that's very, the holes are very close together. But I love a sponge effect. I love to do this with acrylics. Let's do 2 of them and experiment with what we would like. Well, how would we decorate this? I don't soak my sponge in it. You can. I mean, you can get it in all over. Now you can see I'm getting more intensity because I keep wetting that spot. Of course, then it takes longer for it to dry. We'll put it on a blank side. The wetter it is, the longer it takes to dry. But how fun is that? I mean, you really, I mean, it takes that simple blank card and changes it totally. And then if you want to do your strips of book page. Sorry about the phone back there interrupting. No one ever calls my cell phone. I don't really give it out much. It's for emergencies. For me, I don't like talking on the phone a lot because I'd rather be crafting, rather be making something. But anyways, I'm going to take a little bit of this brown craft paper. And put a strip of that on there. There. I think that's really attractive. I could put something else on it. A label. Just, you don't have to do a lot. I could add more book page to it. You can never get enough. But I like to work with all the scraps that we've got. I mean, if we're tearing these books up, why not use them, you know, for all the decorating? And I introduce color in a lot of different ways. Like this is just an offcut of some wrapping paper. So I could put that down, attach that there. I've got blue tissue paper here. If I wanted a blue theme in the book that I'm working on, I think I'll go ahead and put that down. Now, when you go with the color, it does have much more impact. And so it does, you can see the writing below that. You can still see, but not really vividly. And that's a little too much for my liking. So I'm going to see if I can tone it down with more book page, which I would enjoy much more than a solid piece of blue there. Okay, that's a little crooked. I want my writing to be in there a little straighter, even though I'm not a perfectionist. Okay, that's cute like that. We could attach, this is a cutout, another cutout from a book, and that's got kind of a blue-green hue to it. That kind of looks good there. I've got pre-made swatches that I might use. Oh, here's a pretty piece of eco-dyed paper. Oh, this is cute. That's really cute. But I think I'll use that on one of the other cards. And there's got to be something in here. I've got several little different wonderful things that I'm looking through this little tray that I've got off the side here. I'm sorry. Oh, more tissue paper. I'm going to use that for sure. And oh, that's cute. That's cute. All right. Let's do a little bit of our daubing from the sponge on this. I think I'll just coat the whole thing. How cute is that? All right. I like that. Yeah. All right. I'm going to put some more glue down, glue stick down. Took up some of my book page. Wasn't supposed to do that. Let's lift this up. Put that on there. Okay, I think that's really cute. Really cute. Really cute there. All right, so simple. Another one down. Now, I do have this little swatch here. And you can do the sponging on one side and then something else on the other side. So, you know, don't leave yourself that that's the only thing you can do. That's still a side that you can write on, and then you can decorate over here. I'm going to use this swatch though, so it's heavily coffee dyed. We've got tea bag, the dangle on a tea bag. This is parchment baking paper that I do all my dyeing on. This is brown paper sack, and I just did coffee on it, stapled it together, and then I'm going to put that in the corner. I've never seen a glue stick like this before. What a mess. If I'd done that, I would have prepared better and had a different one ready for us. So I like that on there, and then I could attach something in the middle. We could put a stamp or one of these labels. That's cute right there. I think I'll do that. I don't know where I got this label. I think somebody gifted it to me. Got a little envelope of labels from a yard sale, or someone gifted it to me. Anyways, there we go. Isn't that cute? I think it's darling. And this from the book, to me, this is all I want on here. And then what I'll do is, instead of like, so most of what I've done is tags, but I also use these as pockets. So for me, oh, that's kind of cute. Here we've got Light from a Candle, and the title of the book is Blind Trust. So I think that's perfect. All right, so that's what's going down right here. Yeah, and that is going to be a pocket on a book page in one of my journals. I think that's so cool. Now, I might take and sew all the way around, kind of bring out maybe this gold with a gold thread all the way around. But look how cute that is without sewing. And I could have put a little strip of tissue paper underneath to give it another dimension, but I don't think it needs it. I mean, that's a torn piece out of a children's book. I think that's just darling. Let's see what else we can do with this. Have I got anything? With my glue stick not working, I can't actually cover the page. That would have been nice. You know what? I'll try and get this around the perimeter. If I stop the film, then I have to go to one of these things like, oh, I won't say a name, but then it's really hard to upload the film you've edited all of a sudden. I have problems trying to upload, and I never have problems unless I go to one of those apps that let me use their editing for free, and I haven't gone to the trouble of buying something yet. I think I'll round that and carry just the matte part around the edge. I like that. I'm going to tear this off. So that way I could decorate this side if I want, or I can decorate the matte side. I like that. It didn't cover up all of it here and all of it here. I could cut this down if I wanted to a little bit. That doesn't bother me. I don't care about that. I can put another strip of something along the side here. I like that. So we're going to go with that. Okay. And sorry about my scratchy throat. I have allergies so bad this year. That covers that up, and I like the added brown to it. I think that's really, I like it just like that. Now, if you wanted to go to more trouble, let's see. This is some of my baking paper that oh, that's kind of neat. It's folded. So that would work with what I was talking about with double-sided. Except that's the wrong side. Yeah, I don't want to do that. And I can't put it on the other side. Well, I could, couldn't I? But I kind of like to, I don't know. I like to decorate one side, but, oh, that's kind of neat. But then I'll have I won't be able to decide, do I want to focus here or do I want to focus here? So no, I think I'm going to take that off. I have a children's, that's kind of nice, a children's dictionary page, stepladder, sting. I think I like sting. And I want a little something, do I book page or tissue paper that I can put underneath? Let's see. I want a long strip. Oh, here's one. Yeah. Here we go. And now I'm going to put this dictionary page on, and I can't put the glue stick on the old paper because it'll just tear it. So I'm going to put the glue stick on the card. I know you, I hope you're enjoying watching me struggle. Instead of getting up and going find another glue stick, but I don't know how to join my, I know how, but I'm not going to use one of those apps. So I have to use iMovie, and I don't know how to join two movies together. So I can't stop what I'm doing. But anyways, I think that looks great. I don't think it needs anything else, honestly. You could add to it, but I don't see any point. Let's see, I have some pen and inks, but that's kind of like overkill. You're covering up the definition. I like it just like it is. I'm going to trim off. No, I'm not going to trim off that edge. I'm going to do this. Okay, I don't know how long we've been on now, but I like that a little darker, I think. Okay, too much. Oh, well, okay, that's what not to do. I'm going to have to ink the whole thing now, or else it just won't look right, will it? It'll look like I did this on, I wanted it to be this heavily inked, and that's okay now. Get it all over as best as I can. Okay. Now, I saved it. I kind of like it. It's got to dry, of course. And I think when I do use this, I think what it needs, and I don't see a piece in my pile of trash here. Gosh, where is it? I saw a piece that might be long enough, but now I don't see it. Okay, I have plenty of this trim. That I think I'll take a piece of that. Yeah, I'll take a piece of that and put it all the way across there. Sew it down. I think that's really cute. Okay, I'm definitely gonna use this. You will see it in a journal, a flip through it sometime. So you can see what we can do with coffee anyways, keeping it simple, not, stressing over how many cards do we do just then. Let's see. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cards. And this one I like undecorated. Doesn't have to be. If I want to decorate it, I can do something like this. Or like I showed before, I've got the butterfly that I can put on here. I've got a little bird's head from a book. I mean, there's just so much you can do with it and keep it very simple. So that's a sponge, a feather, a stencil brush, the edge of some printer paper, and index cards, and some stickers that come from the mail, a cutout from a book, offcuts and from a offcut from a tear out picture from a magazine. We've got old shipping paper and tea bag and a gifted tag and some parchment paper. This comes from a children's book. This is a stamp free from in the mail. This is from a book. This is from a book. No, that was um, wrapping paper. We've got washi tape and stenciling. We've got an cutout and a tear out from an atlas and a seed catalog and some tissue paper from a present, an old little teeny fabric swatch from my stash, and an old millinery flower. And I think they're all lovely. And I didn't actually use my butterfly yet. So, I mean, I'm going to sit here and work more on this with the coffee, but I think that's a good beginner run for somebody to really experiment and do something new and innovative with index cards. And I'd love to see what you do with them. So there you go, with coffee, index cards, and some scraps and fun things that I've gathered along with me. And we made a bunch of tags, a bunch of pocket fronts, a bunch of journal cards. It's just fun, lots of fun, and a lot of writing spaces. Thank you for watching. Come back again. And, you know, that's it in a nutshell. See you next time. Bye-bye.